May I ask you about the steps or the stages of a study? Can somebody repeat the stages of a study for me? Okay, let me ask from the list.
Stages of what?
Yeah, please.
Stages of?
His name. There were 7, 8 steps, stages
Of what?
for study, for doing a study, doing a research. What do you need first when you plan a research?
Question.
You need a question. You must
Yes,
find the title of your study.
title
What
of question.
comes next? Go ahead. Yeah, you're doing well.
Answer.
Sir, question is already answered.
Yeah, is the question already answered?
Is
Okay,
already.
let us
Made hypothesis.
then
Then make testing.
Okay,
some kind
concerning
of
the
theory.
hypothesis, we had 2 types of hypothesis. Do you remember what they were called? The 2 types of hypothesis? Age 1 and age 0. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Can you continue reading this list for me? Just to remind the people.
Okay. Formulate the hypothesis, design the method, and then apply.
Apply means what? Apply means what?
Design the method which data apply or a formula which to identify data maybe.
Apply is to conduct the study. Huh? You designed your method, you planned it, now you conduct it. You collect data. Okay. Apply means collecting data. Okay.
And then perform analysis.
Yeah. This is about statistics, huh? Doing biostatistics.
Okay.
Okay.
And then discussion after the discussion and report.
Thank you. Thank you, Snail. Let me ask you something else about the last session. Can you remind me about the how should be an answerable clinical question? The components of an answerable clinical question. Can somebody repeat it? Do you remember the 4 components we had?
Sorry, sir, I don't.
Okay. This is also important. Maybe somebody else? Shahriyar Khan, are you there? Zafar Muhammad, are you there? Wasim?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
यार कोई बोल लो.
Do you remember the 4 components of an answerable clinical question?
Idea.
Please, the components. No, the components we had this PICO acronym. I show it to you. You have a peak. Can you now tell me the PICO acronym? Nobody remembers. Did you not attend to my last class? PICO acronym. Okay, somebody read, please.
Patient, what? Question, problem, intervention, comparison, and the outcomes.
Yeah. In
Is
an
there any
answerable,
difference?
in an answerable clinical question, we need to have these 4 components. What is the
Yes, sir.
problem? What kind of intervention and comparisons do we have? Which groups do we compare? And what is our outcomes? Okay. That's not so good. You should be performing better. Okay. What about the data? Data should have some features. Anybody can tell me? A data should be current, reliable, correct, complete, appropriate to use, and appropriate for aim. Let me tell you something, my dear class. Now we are 24, 25, everybody here. You are here, I'm sure, to learn, okay? Please cooperate and answer my questions and try to read before you come to the class. And if you don't learn in the class, it might be becoming difficult for you to learn it later on. Therefore, I strongly encourage you, suggest you to learn while you are in the class. Speak out.
Okay.
So today we have types of data, and the next session we will go on with data entering into the computer. There are 4 types of data. Nominal, ordinal, discrete, and continuous. These are the classical types of data. And these data types are categories of groups of categorical and numerical data. Or when we speak from the opposite side, when we look from the opposite side, a variable or a data is categorized as categorical or numerical. And categorical data can be further divided into nominal or ordinal, while a numerical data is grouped as discrete or continuous. Okay, so 4 types of data. 4 types of data. Let me give you some examples, and then I would like to ask you to give more examples, okay? Categorical means you have categories. When you have a variable, you have categories, then we call it categorical data. Okay, here is, let me write on an empty. Let me empty this. Okay. So let us assume that we have here, this is our questionnaire. Okay. This is our questionnaire now. We have here our questionnaire. And in a questionnaire, we may have which kind of questions? Anybody can tell me their research proposal, what you are planning to study? And I will write down your questions. Is
there a question, any kind of?
Your research in the small group, what are you planning to study?
Prevalence of eating disorder.
Eating disorders. So let us try to formulate the questions for eating disorders, okay? Your title is eating disorders, eating disorders. Okay, very good. Eating disorders. What kind of questions would you ask in the study to the participants? Question 1 would be probably you will ask about the age of the participants, right? Okay.
Yes.
What else would you ask? Sex.
Height, sex. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you will ask about is the participant male or female?
Male or female.
Yeah. What else would you ask? It's about eating disorders.
Any kind of disease if they have.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any disease? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any disease? Okay. Any disease? Okay. What else?
What else? And about the education or where they live. No,
Very
the
good.
fourth one is where they live.
You can ask this kind of more
If they live in
questions.
city or in rural area.
Would you ask about the measure the weight or height or the body circumferences?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. It's important in
Yes,
age, height and
Height.
health.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's say the other question is height or weight. Huh? Height in centimeters. Okay. So we have now 4 questions. Each of these questions, each of these items, we call a variable, okay? Each of these we call a what? A variable. So if I ask you what is a variable, it is these, each of the questions, each item. Because they are vary, huh? When you ask a question, it may vary, the responses may vary. Therefore, we call them the variables. Variables can be categorical or numerical, okay? So age, is it categorical or numerical?
Numerical.
It is numerical because we don't have
Yeah.
categories here. Huh? When you ask me my age, I will tell you I am 52, okay?
Yeah.
So this is a numerical data. An example for numerical, is it discrete or continuous? As you see, numerical data can be further divided into discrete or continuous. What do we understand from discrete
Continuous.
and
I think
Age is discrete.
age is
continuous,
discrete
sir.
or continuous? Yeah. Discrete means it is an
Discrete.
integer. It is an integer value. It doesn't have a comma or decimal places. If it is continuous, it means it can have endless decimals. So would you say what would you say now? Is age
Discrete.
discrete? It is. Yeah. We usually usually answer age or treat age as an
Discrete.
discrete value, but in fact it is a continuous data. I am not 52. I'm 52 point something, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Omar. How old are you, Omar?
Sir, 18.4.
Yeah, 18 point something. Because but usually almost 100% of the people, when you ask their age, they will say 18. They will not say 18.3, 18.1, or I will not say 52 or something. So this is actually a continuous data, but we treat it as discrete. By the way, it is not that important to differentiate between discrete and continuous. So it is enough if you say we have a numerical data. That's enough. Discrete and continuous, they don't they are not so important during the statistical analysis. Our second question was sex. What kind of variable is that? Is it categorical or numerical? Sex.
Categorical.
Categorical.
You are
Yes, sir.
smart
Categorical.
guys. You are smart guys. Yes, it is categorical because we have categories here. We have categories.
Male, female, and both.
Male, female, or other. So number one, let's say, is male or female. Females come first, huh? Let's make it brackets so that
And
we can.
transgender.
And second, males, and three others. Okay.
Class.
Okay. So this is categorical data. Is it categorical nominal or ordinal? If it is,
Numerical.
if it
Nominal.
nominal, yeah. If it has orders, it is increasing or decreasing order, then we call it ordinal. Otherwise, it is nominal. This here, sex, is a categorical and nominal data. So if you ask me, I will check this one as a male, okay? And that's it. Then let us give an example for the categorical ordinal data. Here, as you see in the book, the example given is a stage of the disease, mild, moderate, severe. As you see here, we have an increasing or decreasing order. In our questionnaire, do we have an ordinal data? No, we don't. We didn't decide on it, but if you, what else could be? Can you help me to find an ordinal example for an ordinal data?
What is the stage of the disease?
Severity of the disease already mentioned here. Any other example, please? From the class.
So
Okay.
which kind of disease it is?
Which kind of disease? Okay. Types of the disease. Huh? Types of the disease. Type of disease. Is this ordinal or nominal?
Sir, it's
Nominal.
It's nominal. It is not increasing or decreasing order. Okay. It's not ordinal. I need an ordinal example. If you understood the concept,
Yes, sir. Ordinary.
ordinal.
Sir, can you show that?
Let me give you an example. For ordinal, educational status. What is the educational level of your father? If I ask about the father's educational level, it would be an ordinal question, ordinal variable, okay? But you must give me other examples. I will not leave you.
Sir, can we ask like this? What type of? What is the matlab, means के physical activity do you do? Moderate, severe, or hard or easy physical activities?
Congratulations. Exactly. Yes. What is the level? What level of or how frequently do you perform physical activity, exercises? If you do it daily, weekly, monthly exercises, that would be then an ordinal type of data. Thank you very much.
Sir, earning in a month.
Sorry,
Earning.
I didn't understand.
Sir, earning pay of a month.
Earning.
It is an ordinal
Earning.
or
Okay.
yes.
Earning. Yeah, I will come to that. Earning. What is your income? Hmm?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
let's write down here another question. Question
It's
5.
Sir,
Question 5. Income. Income. Is income?
sir,
Yes.
income will not in quantitative.
Yeah. Umar obliges. He says income is continuous. It's not categorical.
Yes,
So
sir, it is continuous.
It's continuous, of course. Income is a continuous type of variable. It's continuous. But see, there is something here. Do you see this arrow? There is an
Yes,
arrow.
sir.
There is an arrow from numerical to categorical, which means numerical data can be converted into categorical. Numerical data we can convert into categorical. So instead of writing age in the questionnaire, we could categorize this. Could we? A, age.
Yes, sir. He's old.
Below 18. Huh? B, 19 to something. Huh? 19 to 64. Let's say. C, above 65. 64, okay. So in this case, if I ask age instead of an integer or continuous variable, if I categorize it, then age becomes what kind of data?
64. C.
What kind of data is this now?
Less than 64. No, sir,
What kind of
1964.
what kind of variable is this? Yeah, I would
B.
be then. I have to select B then. What kind of variable would it be now? Is it now nominal, ordinal, discrete, or continuous? This age.
Nominal.
It's now nominal.
Continuous.
It's now nominal. It's not nominal. You see the order? You see the order?
Ordinal.
You see the order? There is an order here. It's ordinal. The same is for income. Income is numerical continuous data. Income can have decimal places, okay? The numerical, but we can categorize it. Can we?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Less
can.
than, yes, sir.
Less than
70,000.
70,000.
Yeah.
Between 20,000 to 90,000.
Yeah, very good. Depending on your categorization, it would become then, depending on your categories, you can categorize it as a nominal, two categories.
Ordinal.
More than two categories, then it would become an ordinal data. But be aware, be careful. There is an arrow from numerical to categorical, but it's not possible to convert it back. Yeah, it's not possible.
Categorical can be converted to numerical.
Yeah. Once you have a categorical data, you cannot convert it back into numerical. So when you ask me my age in categories and I select B, I tell you that I am in between here. You are not able to tell my exact age anymore. For this reason, it is always suggested to start with when you have a numerical data, collect it as a numerical, okay? Please don't forget this rule. I ask it also in the exams. When you have a numerical data, you should collect your, you should ask your variable as numerical. Don't categorize it. Don't categorize it in the beginning of the study. Later, during the analysis, if you find it necessary, you may go and categorize. Okay? So far, so good? Delete. Now we have here some other terms. We have spoken about data. Data is what we collect, the variable, what we ask about it, we make observations, and we have here these two terms, sample and population. In any study you are planning, you must decide what is your population and what is the sample. In the example of eating disorders, you must have a population and a sample. What is your population in your eating study?
Population now?
Yeah, the population is this. Where are you going to study? Which group? Tell me the name of your group. Where are you going to study these eating disorders?
In slums areas.
In your class?
No, sir. Outside the countryside area.
In the community?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you go to the community, is it which community? Is it Karachi?
No.
Lahore.
No.
It's a kind of slums area near.
Is it the bigger community, the Pakistan?
No, sir. It's
No.
a small community.
That would be very big. Okay. So it's better a smaller, like a village.
Village, yes, sir.
Village X, let's say, huh? Okay, this is your community. In this community, let us say in a village X, we have how many people living?
1,000.
Let's say we have 1,000. This we show with big N. N is 1,000. We have 1,000 people in this village, and that we call the population. Okay, that is our population. And from this, we need to select a sample because it is difficult to reach out all these 1,000 and collect data from each of them. Therefore, we select from this, we select a sample. Sample n number of people, and this should be random sampling. Okay, randomly we should select how many people. I don't know, you will decide later on. Let's say it is 50. Out of these 1,000, you select 50 randomly, and then you do your study on these. This is, we call it sampling. So good? So far, so good? Nominal, ordinal, I mentioned. We have discrete, continuous. That's clear also, I think. Lastly, I should mention about the derived data. So some data we get it as it is, but some others we derive, we calculate. Okay, and among the derived data, we have the percentages, the ratios, the rates, and scores. These are the 4 types of derived data. Percentage, you already know what it is. A percentage is here is an example. I opened for you a website. A percentage, for example, is the percentage of the air you blow out from your lung within the 1 second of expiration. This is very important in medicine. The FEV1, they call it FE1, forced expiratory volume 1. Forced expiratory volume in the first second during expiration. So this is usually used as a diagnostic clue as a diagnostic criteria in medicine for diagnosing diseases. Do you know asthma? Asthma is a chronic condition, right?
Yes, sir.
Chronic condition in the lungs where you have difficulty in breathing, difficulty especially in expiration. And there are medications for asthma. One of them is the beta-mimetic medications. Beta-mimetic medications. And when you give the beta-mimetic medication and there is an improvement in the expiratory capacity, like in this web page it is mentioned as 12%, then you may consider that this patient has asthma because he benefits from salbutamol or beta-mimetic medications. Okay, this is percentage, very easy. Ratio is 2 numbers divided by each other. The classical example for ratio is the BMI. I already mentioned about the BMI in my previous presentation. As you remember, it was the formula was what?
Mass index.
Yeah, the formula was for BMI was weight divided by age squared. Then another ratio for example could be FEV1 divided by forced vital capacity, which should be, if it is less than 0.8, it is also diagnostic for some respiratory conditions. Okay, so you have a forced vital capacity, or all the air you can blow out in your lung, and the part you blow out within 1 second. If you divide this and calculate a ratio, if it is less than 0.8, it is used as a diagnostic criteria. This we call the ratio. Then we have the rates. What is a rate? If you have a rate, you should be speaking of time. Okay, rate is a ratio converted expressed as a time. And my example here for you is the mortality rates. Mortality rates. Yes. Do you hear neonatal mortality rates? Neonatal, that's important. Neonatal mortality. Okay. Anybody can tell me what it is? Neonatal mortality. Neonatal period. This neonatal period is the first 28 days. 28 days after birth. This period from birth to 28 days is called the neonatal period. The number of babies born in a year, number births, live births, of course, live births divided by, sorry, should be the vice versa, of course. That's 28 days, okay, or below, divided by total number of live births in a year. Okay, this is called the neonatal mortality rate. What do you think? How many of this is Kyrgyzstan here? How many of the babies born in Kyrgyzstan die within a year? I want you to have a figure about the neonatal mortality rate. Any guesses? Out of 1,000, let's say, out of 1,000 births, live births, how many are dying within 28 days? No guesses? Okay. Here it is. According to the OECD, the neonatal mortality rate for Kyrgyzstan is how much?
12.
12. It is 12. Okay, let us select another country. Let us select another country. Go back, country profiles. Select another country. Which country would you like to select?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. Where is Pakistan? Iran, Pakistan. Here is Pakistan. Okay. What do you think will be the neonatal mortality rate in Pakistan? How many of the babies born die? How many out of
30.
It is more, you said, think it is more than Kyrgyzstan, yes?
Yes, sir.
It is, neonatal mortality rate is 41. So it is higher than that of Pakistan. What would be the number in Western countries? What do you think?
It will be less.
It will be less. Less, how less? How much
10,
less?
10, 15.
Maybe 10, 15, even less than 15. Huh? Even less. Let's select Germany and see how much it is in Germany. Where is it? Child protection, child survival. Here it is. Neonatal mortality rate in Germany is only 2. Can it be 0, by the way? Why it's not 0?
There's no population and there's no reproduction.
Why it's not 0? Because there are reasons you cannot prevent. Huh? There are neonatal reasons, some diseases you have in the baby, some conditions which you cannot prevent. Before giving a break, let me tell you about censored data. Censored, there might be cases where you cannot collect data from your participants. There might be conditions when you are not possible to collect data from your participants. And this can be by two ways. Either it's not possible to measure, it's not possible to measure, or you cannot collect the data because the patient is lost. The patient is not there. He either died or moved away, so it's related with the patient. He died, he moved away, he denies, he rejects to join the study, he doesn't come for follow-up, and that's why you cannot measure. In some cases, the laboratories cannot measure, for example, the blood glucose. If it is too low or too high, it is undetectable. Sometimes the laboratory cannot measure everything, Just imagine blood pressure. Blood pressure is very low blood pressures, like 5-10 millimeter mercury. You cannot measure with a sphingomanometer. Manometer. Or also very high blood pressures, like 200, a blood pressure 240, 250. It's some blood pressure devices, they will not be able to measure it. Good. Think about the data types, variable types. This I will ask you in the next session. Now, let us give a break and then we will continue with data entry.
For how many minutes? For 10 minutes?
Okay, it's okay, 10 minutes is good. So 10 minutes is good. Now we have 40 minutes past 9. Okay. Shall we?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Zahmet. I wish the students would be contributing more. That would be better for their learning. Okay, folks. Now, let's discuss something about data entry. Data entry nowadays is done to the computer programs. We use computer softwares for data entry. This year, for example, this sheet is from Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is almost present in all computers, as you know. I need another study as an example. Can any other friend, colleague of you give me the name of their study?
Suicide prevention was there.
What was your study about? In this small group, what are you planning to do? What is your title?
Suicide among the topic discussion of suicide among medical students and medical doctors.
Discussion styles? What styles you mean?
Suicide.
Suicide, okay, suicide, yeah. Title is about suicide, suicide. So your study is about, what kind of questions would you have in this study? Question 1.
Have you ever tried to kill yourself?
Yeah. Usually, by the way, usually we have in any study some demographic questions. Some demographic questions. Demographic, okay? Let me write it down. Demographic questions. And then we have some outcomes. Outcome questions. So these we can categorize our study questions into 2 parts. Demographic questions we usually ask about question 1, like age, okay? Question 2, sex. Question 3, income. These are usually the examples for demographic questions. Then we have the outcomes. What did you say about your outcome? What did you say? Did you ever attempt suicide? Was it your question? Hello. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you attempt suicide? Okay. The answer would be the choices, yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Okay, 2 answers. Then we may have another type of question. That's let me write it down here. Question number 5. Question number 5. Do you have any comorbidities? Do you have any comorbidities? Comorbidities. What is comorbidity? Extra diseases. Sometimes the person may have multiple diseases at a time, like hypertension, diabetes, asthma, and so on. Okay, let us assume this is our questionnaire, and I am your patient number 1, participant number 1, participant number. We should have always, in a study, we should always give the participants, each of them, a number. participant. Now we need to enter our data into computer. Okay. You may do it with Excel, but I strongly suggest you to use SPSS. This is the symbol of SPSS. I use it. There are other statistical softwares. Huh? So you may enter your data using Excel. You may enter your data using Excel. Okay, Excel, SPSS, SAS. These are the names of the other math labs. And what else is there? R programming. So there are many, okay? There are many softwares you may use for data entering. But we will use in our course Excel, Microsoft Excel. Now, in the columns, in the first row, we give the variable names, the names of the variables. Our first variable is what? The ID, patient ID or participant ID. Question number 2 is here the age. Okay. Question 2, Q2, age. Okay. And 3 is sex. So first, question 3. Actually, this is question 1, question 2, sorry. Question 1 is age. Question 2 is sex. And so on. So first, we need to define our data set. This we call the data set. Data set. Okay. First, we define our data set, and then we go on with entering the data. First participant, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. For each participant, we need to type in the data. Since biostatistics is working with numbers, we will not feed in our spreadsheet. We will not feed in text, free text. We usually, most of the time, almost 100%, we use numbers here. So when I have age, I have to write down exactly the age I have collected here. As I said, I am 52 years. So if you ask me this question, I will say 52. And this was what kind of variable? Is it a numerical or categorical variable? It's
Numerical.
It's a numerical and discrete variable. Huh? So I write here 52. That's very easy. Not 52 years. Huh? This is it correct now? 52 years? No, it's not correct. It should be 52. If you want to mention the unit of measurement, you mention it here. Okay, years. You measure it here in the top, and the variable name. In the variable itself, you never enter text. You just feed in only numbers. 52. Okay. Sex. Our responses were male, female, and other. I selected male. Male. What are you going to write down here? Male. Is it good to write male? Yes? If you say yes in the exam, you fail. Okay, because I said we can only write what? We can only write numbers. Is this a number? It's not a number. It's not a number. So if this is not possible. Then we need to give numbers to this. Okay, 1 male, let's say 2 female. Okay, you have to define define in the beginning which category means which number. So here I will have 1. And if you want to know what 1 means, then you can define it in the beginning. 1 male, comma, 2 female. Okay, so that everybody knows what the numbers standing for. Okay, then comes number 3. What kind of variable is this? Income. Is it numerical or categorical?
Categorical.
It's categorical. If it has categories, it is categorical. Does it have categories, this income here? Let's say I will type in 20,000. It is a
It's
numerical.
numerical.
Yeah, but we remember we could categorize it. We could convert it into categories, but this is not suggested. This is not advised. In the beginning of your study, at the data collection stage, you don't categorize it, okay? You don't. So question number 3, question 3 was about income. Yeah, and income. My income I mentioned as 20,000. Okay, 20,000. No commas, no text, nothing. Just numbers. 20,000. The 4th question was, did you attempt suicide? Okay, I will not write it fully to save time. Question number 4. It's about suicide attempt. If you ask me, I will select this. No, I didn't. How should I write it down here?
1 for yes and 2 for no.
Thank you. Yeah, we can say 1 for yes or 2 for no. But there is one rule. In mathematics, as you know, usually we use 1 for yes and 0 for no. Absence means 0 in mathematics, usually in computer sciences. We use 0 for absent, not present, no. Therefore, since I said no, I should code it as 0. Okay? Don't forget this rule, please. If you have yes, no questions, please code it as 1 and 0. Right? You got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now the question number 5, which is the most tricky and important one. Now, you asked me about my comorbidities, and fortunately, alhamdulillah, I don't have. But let's say I selected, yes, I have hypertension and I have diabetes. How we are going to code it now? Can you just think a while and then help me to code it? This patient has selected 2 comorbidities. He has hypertension plus diabetes mellitus.
2 1 1 1.
1 1, 1 for hypertension and 1 for diabetes. Okay, so there will be then 1 1 like this, 11. That's 11. And you calculate, this will be 11.
I don't know, sir.
Yeah, okay. I will help you out. Don't worry. I am here to explain to you. Here, and let's go to the book. As you see in the book, we have 2 options, 2 possibilities. There are only a few possible symptoms or a few possible responses, and individuals may have experienced many of them. Or the other option would be, the other possibility could be, these are the multi-coded variables, by the way, multi-coded variables. Think. Select my pen, multi-coded. If you have multi-coded, as it is here in our example, we have here a multi-coded variable. This variable number 5 is multi-coded. The person can select more than one option. Then we call it a multi-coded variable. In a multi-coded variable, there can be two possibilities. One is there are only few possible choices, symptoms or choices, we can call it that, choices. And the person may select many of them, or there are large number of possible symptoms or choices, and each patient can suffer only few of them or only one of them. Here, do we have a lot of choices? No, we have only three choices. And I have multiple of them. Then we code each of these variables as yes and no, present or and absent. Question one, hypertension. Question 5, sorry, diabetes mellitus. And question 5, asthma. Did you understand what I am doing? Yeah? What I do is I treat each choice as an individual question. As it is this question 5 has, actually, it is composed of 3 separate questions. Do you have hypertension? Do you have diabetes? Do you have asthma? These are 3 separate questions, actually. Therefore, I coded them as separate columns. Okay. Do you have hypertension? What did I select? What did the person say? Yes, he said. So yes is 1 and no is 0. Okay. Do you have diabetes? Do I have diabetes? Yes, I have. 1. Do you have asthma? Not selected. 0. And so on. Okay, then you go to the second participant, and this is Husna, and he or she is 18, and he is female or female, and you continue to type. Is this clear with the multi-coded variables? If you have few possible symptoms, you select each of them as one, present or absent. If it is more possibilities, more choices, like let's say it's not, let me delete this. Let's say it is, which medication do you use? Question, oops, select my pen. Question number 6, okay, what medications do you use? What medications do you use? Okay, what could be the possible answers here? What medications do you use?
Sir, in income box you have write 20,000. So it is in dollar or in so on?
Yeah, there are more than 3,000. More than 3,000. Sometimes in some countries more than 4,000, 5,000 different kind of medications, different medications. Therefore, it is not wise to have 3,000 yes no. Huh? Do you use aspirin? Yes no. Do you use paracetamol? Yes no. Do you use this would be 5,000 columns, 3,000 columns. That's not possible to do. Therefore, if you have this kind of question, which you will rarely have, then you should code it as medication number 1, M1, M2, M3, and so on. Okay, then I would code it M1, and I will categorize the medications. I have a list of the medications. Let's say paracetamol is 2,311. I will select 11. I use the medication 2011. As a medication 2, I use the medication 14. As medication 3, I use medication X. Okay?
Sir, what is this 2311 in paracetamol? I mean, right?
This is in a list of medications in a let us see the pharmacopedia, huh? Pharmacopedia. Okay, you see, in a pharmacopedia, you have the number of. This is European pharmacopedia. You have the number of the list of the medications available in the market. Okay, list of medications you have available in the market. This is European pharmacopeia. It has how many items in it? Maybe 5,000, at least thousands, 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000. Each medication you give a number. Each medication you give a number. Let us assume that I have said 2,311, medication number 2,311 is for paracetamol, and 14 is for some other medication, and so. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. So in this case,
Sir, do we have to write the currency name or not?
do you have to write what?
Currency name.
Like
Dollar,
dinar,
Pakistani
dirham.
rupees.
No. No.
But how we can analyze that? How much exactly is it? Like $20 or 20 dinars?
The list of the medications have to be, of course, available. The list of medications are usually available somewhere. It is available, and everybody should know which number refers to which medication. The list is usually available, huh? Do you have a pharmacopoeia in Kyrgyzstan? I'm sure. Dr. Azamat, how many medications are available in the market in
Yes, we have pharmacopoeia, but I'm not sure how many exactly drugs are there. It should be
but
thousands.
there are more than 1,000, huh? Probably 3,000. You see the books here. This is Europea. It is three volumes. So I would guess it is maybe 5,000 names inside. I don't know exactly how many, but I knew that in Turkey the number was around 4,000. Okay. Good. Yes. Mm-hmm. The other issue is if you have sometimes you may have multiple forms per patient. Multiple forms per patient. What does it mean? Multiple form per patient means you make repeated measurements in one patient. You have you ask the same questions again and again. Huh? You ask this question: what medications do you use today? And after 1 month, you ask it again. You repeat the measurements. Okay. If you have repeated cross-sectional study, if you repeat it again, then of course you need to additionally, in addition to all these variables, you have to include another variable like the phone number or the name or something, so that you can match. You can know who is this patient number 1. Is this Zakaria or is this Azamat? Who is this? Okay, from the age you may differentiate, but that would be difficult if the ages are similar. So therefore, you should, if you have a repeated measure or if you have multiple forms per patient, then you should also have a unique identifier included. And something else you need to be careful is the dates. When you are working with dates, some countries, they have different date formats. You see day, month, year, or month, day, year, different formats. So you should be always having the same format, sustained format in a study. Yeah. Missing values we will not have in our studies. Don't worry about it. That's not so important. Okay, that much is enough about data entry, I think. We will have some practice about it. Don't worry. Once you have collected your data in your studies, we will do also some practice, and you will. I hope you will be very competent in collecting and entering data into your computers. Anything you would like to ask before we close this session? Dr. Azam.